buddy. What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Dew Crew? This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
All right, well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, it is Friday. It is the weekend before the NFC and AFC conference title games, and yes, we're one day closer to the Super Bowl. We're one day closer to free agency hitting, and obviously the NFL draft. The season has come to a close for the Detroit Lions, but that doesn't mean everybody isn't working and shaking on making next year even better for the Detroit Lions. You know what? When you look around the scope of things, at the end of the day, we can say this. Lions made it into the Elite Six, Elite Eight, whatever you want to say, based on the time of day for the NFL, and we were probably this close to making it to the title games, to the Super Bowl. Yes, we all get it by this point. Hey, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson are gone amongst other people, and other people are probably going to depart. But I think Brad Holmes in yesterday's presser gave through some real reveals when you start analyzing that, when he talks about re-signing not Iffy Melifonwu, but the Kirby Joseph and other players. I think you notice a little bit of a trend change, a tone change. We're going to get into that in the main topic of the day. I think this could be a very, very interesting season, or off-season, I should say, for the Detroit Lions. I think we need to analyze it as fans, because this might be the real sign that Brad Holmes might say, skip the picks, and we're going after it. We'll get into that momentarily, like I said, after we get through 5 headlines now and get into the main topic today. Real quick, though, before we get the show a rocking and a rolling and a going, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that march to get to 13,000 subscribers. And we are officially 60 subs away. So if you can help out with that, that would be most wonderful. Also, if you have a half second of time, reach on down, hit that thumbs up button. As you probably know, the like button, when it's hit, helps anybody on YouTube out exponentially. We try to get every episode between 200, 300, 400, whatever we can, thumbs up or like. So if you can help out with that, that would be most welcomed. Last but never least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Have a quick conversation, see what we can do to help you on out and make the process a whole lot easier. I've been a realtor for over 30 years. Let's see what I can save you some money. Make sure you don't step on any landmines. Make sure that you don't get overcharged by your lender, etc. So, hey, go ahead and give me a call. You see the number on the screen. Let's have a conversation, see what we can do to help you on out. All right, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get the show rocking and rolling and get on over to 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines now. In fact, I think we were so glorious with the headlines today, we actually came up with a 6th one. So let's dive into it. All right, Lions are interviewing Larry Foote for the defensive coordinator, opening story by Jeff Risdon of USA Today. We all get it. Hey, there's a certain level of expectations for who the next defensive coordinator is going to be. Robert Saleh, as you guys probably aware, is no longer an option for the Lions. He's going back to San Francisco, and he's going to get paid a little bit of cash to head on over there. Either way, Larry Foote's an interesting choice. Most of you may remember, then again, maybe you won't remember, Larry Foote played for the Lions in 2009. He was during some down times, I think would be a fair way to say it, for the Lions franchise and organization, coming off that 0-16 season, the drafting of Matt Stafford, etc. Larry Foote, a Michigan native, a lot of ties to the area. He's been working his way up the ranks. I think it would be a real interesting hire if that's the way direction they decide to go. Keep in mind, he has not been a defensive coordinator before, so we'll have to see what MCDC Brad Holmes elect to do. This will probably, more than likely, I would assume, be all Dan Campbell's selection here, because it's going to be a coach. not a player personnel executive or anybody involved in that in the scouting department. So it's my anticipation that Larry Foote might be a front runner for this one. I know we talked about it yesterday on the show. My guess is that we'll have some sort of clarity on the OC, DC, etc. within the next 48 hours or roughly thereabouts for the Lions and their organization. So could it be Foote? We'll have to wait and see, but I think he would be a solid choice. He's been coaching with Tampa Bay amongst other places, and Tampa Bay, man, you think the Lions are getting ripped apart as far as their front offices, scouting department, coaching department, whatever. The Bucs, man, they might have it worse than us. Let's see, ranking Detroit Lions offseason needs. Story by Vito Shrigo of SI.com. Let's dive into this because Vito's got a little bit of a list here. You can agree with him. You can disagree with him. Let me know in the comment section. He's going to list the number 5 need for this team as linebackers. The linebackers took a major jump in productivity, whatever I'm trying to say, in the second year. He's speaking mostly about Jack Campbell, but does point out, obviously, the huge fine that the Lions have years ago when they signed Alex Anzalone, and when he wasn't in this year, you could see that it caused a major issue for the team and especially the defense. He does point out that the linebackers, he feels, need a lot more depth and a lot more athletic ability out there. So do you believe that he is correct? Do you think this would be the number 5, number 4, number 3, number 29th need on the team? Let me know in the comment section. Defensive tackle. He has this listed as number 4. And you know what? Boy, I think he might be pretty spot on here. We're going to all assume that Lee McNeil is going to be good to go probably by October, maybe November, but somewhere right in that range, right? DJ Reader, there have been some rumors the Lions are going to move on from him. I just don't see that happening. I think for what you hired him to be, he's pretty dang good, and he might be one of the better ones in the league. So are you really going to move on from Reader? If you do, I think that would open up some interesting conversations. If the Lions were to move on from Reader, which, Vito's not saying they would, but he does think the tandem of Lee McNeil and DJ Reader are amongst the better ones in the league, but you do need to shore up some of the depth around them. That's where he's going with this. Levi Onwuzurike, here's my thought. If you move on from Reader, are you saying that Levi Onwuzurike and Lee McNeil, you're starting defensive tackles with maybe Broderick Martin and Pat O'Connor backing him up? I guess you could even throw Mekhi Wingo in there as well. The Lions' defensive line, as far as the interior, when all these guys are healthy, assuming that Broderick Martin does make that proverbial third-year jump we get out of so many rookies drafted by this organization, then I think you're pretty set there. But could you add more? Absolutely. He says that the guard position is the third most needed area to be developed or improved upon this offseason. I'm not so sure about that anymore, just because of yesterday's conversations about Kevin Zettler potentially returning, kind of mulling it over. If you can get him to come back and he holds water to what he did this year, which you guys have heard me talk a long time, I think he's probably, if not the best, he's one of the top 2 or 3 guards in the NFL, along with what we believe we have in Christian Mahogany. That guard position, man, unless it's just depth, I think, man, it's off the charts good. Those 2 monsters in the middle for the Detroit Lions, I really do think that the Lions would have the best offensive line in the league. When you look at Penei Sewell, you look at Frank Ragnow, who's going to have an offseason to finally let that torn pec muscle heal and heal properly. And then you look at those 2 guys backing up or surrounding Ragnow, Taylor Decker. That offensive line might just be the most powerful unit in the universe, and let them go out there and just grade people. But could you actually add some depth there at guard? Yeah, I do think he's correct there that you're going to want some people ready to step on in. Cornerback, he's got listed as number 2. Now, he does say a lot of this is because Carlton Davis is probably going to be departing, he feels, this year. Will that happen? I don't know, but I do think there's a strong chance they don't resign him just because Amik Robertson was so good this past year once he got an opportunity to fill him for Carlton Davis. You guys heard me talk about it. I don't think Ife Melifonwu is going to be back. I've been wrong before, but just he has such a injury history in his 4 years in this league. Would you really want to give him a 3-year contract or 4-year contract where that pay scale is going to go up and you're going to have to deal with the injury issue? We'll have to wait and see. My opinion, if you walk, you re-sign Carlton Davis and have him play that iffy spot safety / cornerback, give you flexibility in that secondary. We'll see what they do. But I do agree with him that cornerback, even Arnold has looked pretty good. Robertson, pretty good. I do think you still want to add some depth there. Rakestraw is still the person we don't know much about because of, he just hasn't got on the field much. Well, so we'll have to wait and see. And then the number one area he lists as an area to improve upon is going to be defensive edge. I think we all get it. When Aiden Hutchinson's in there, this is a completely different unit. But Aiden Hutchinson is one person. The NFL and football, it is not the NBA. You've got to have a whole lot of dudes. One guy can effectively change a franchise in the NBA. That's not so much in the NFL typically, unless it's a quarterback. I would say if you can get somebody else, whether I know we're going to talk about it all off season with, hey, can we trade for this guy, Myles Garrett? Can we trade for Max Crosby? Are we going to sign Khalil Mack or whatever it may be? But if you can get somebody opposite Hutch, whether it's the draft, free agency, trade, or whatever, then this line is completely different. And it's no disrespect for Darius Smith. I think he's pretty dang good. I also think he's 33 years old, going to the last year of his contract. You probably want something more long-term in place than just a one-year rental on a guy who's probably closer to the end of his career than the beginning of his career. All right, after that one, let's go on to the next of the 5 headlines now. Detroit Lions finally get good news about team's future. Story by Ann Erickson, the Heavy. So while we've been diving into, hey, the Lions are getting torn apart as far as the coaching staff, we also get some guys who are going to be departing or retiring from this team. One of the good things, and maybe the Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell are forward thinking about this, but the Lions, as we all know, they're going to get 2 third-round picks for Aaron Glenn going to the Jets. So why does that matter? If you guys remember, last year in the draft, we traded away our third-round pick. Now when you look at our draft, and I think I have this pulled up here, so for next year, the Lions will have, hold on here, I got to fix a couple things here. All right, when you go to next year's draft, hey, here we go. First round pick, we're going to be number 28. Second round pick, number 60. Third round pick to be determined at this time, but now we do have a third round pick. Fourth round pick is also going to be to be determined, but we've got those 4 picks. Now, when you get to the 6th round, we have one from Tampa, still to be determined. Dallas, that's going to be a higher one. So we'll have to wait and get the official word on when that one is. And then a 7th round pick. So we're going to end up with, 7 picks in the draft, where before we were thinking we were only going to have a handful or such. Lions can have some ammunition if they want to do something. We have seen in recent drafts, Brad Holmes has been wheeling and dealing a little bit. Will the Lions stay at 28? That's going to be one of the biggest questions out there. My personal belief, it's way too soon. I do think there's one defensive edge that has caught my eye that, man, oh, man, I don't think he's going to be there at 28. I've been completely wrong before. I think you'd have to trade up to about 16 to 18 to get him, but I think he would be a game wrecker paired opposite Hutchinson and Lee McNeil, etc. So we'll dive into that into another one. I guess when we do a video on the mock drafts and all that stuff, but I'll get you guys that information later. He is fast. He is furious. And yes, that is a teaser for the future. All right. Lions general manager Brad Holmes to contract talks with Aiden Hutchinson. Kirby Joseph can't talk today. Story by Jeremy Risman, SB Nation. Holmes was asked about this, I should say, yesterday, and he's, just coming right out and saying it. Yes, they're already beginning those conversations. Jameson Williams is going to be on that list too. They're not going to let these 3 go. They understand how rare they are. Plus, we all get now after year 4 of the Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell regime, you get drafted by the Lions, you play well, you become a quote-unquote Lion, they're going to reward you, they're going to take care of you, and that's what's making this franchise really pop out across the NFL. More and more players, you hear them talking about it when it's on their podcasts or their team's websites or whatever, they do reference to the Detroit Lions a whole lot. What the Lions are doing, I don't want to say it's uncommon across the NFL, but it's not the norm. We can probably all agree with that. You play your butt off here, we are going to take care of you. You're not a problem in the locker room. You're not a problem in the public. You're not complaining about this or that. You know what? You're a Lion through and through. We're going to reward you. And yes, I do believe Aiden Hutchinson is going to be here the rest of his career. Kirby Joseph probably going to follow into that. And, Jameson Williams, unless he does something really unforeseen, I do think he is growing up and maturing. I don't see any of those guys leaving the Honolulu Blue and Silver anytime soon. All right, let's see. Next to the 5 glorious headlines now. Brad Holmes named Executive of the Year by Pro Football Writers of America. Story by Billy Rossetti of USA Today. And not that this is the biggest news, but I think it's more affirmation just how much the Detroit Lions have changed in the last half decade, where once nobody could win anything for being an executive of the Detroit Lions. Nobody gets any kind of praise. Every draft pick's a bust. Every free agent signing was a bad move, all that kind of stuff. The Lions are no longer in that point, and we can all say it's because of Brad Holmes. Yes, there are people that don't like Jared Goff right now. Yes, there are people that like Jared Goff. I don't care which side you're on. You're both right. You're both wrong. Whatever you want to say, go with that thought. But what we can say is Brad Holmes brought him in, and Goff has been part of the probably the biggest winning trade for the Detroit Lions, at least that I can easily remember. So what do I mean by that? We all get it. Trade Stafford. You trade one asset to acquire 6 other assets. You get Jameson Williams. You get Jahmyr Gibbs. You get, Sam Laporta, amongst other people, Ife Melifanu, et cetera. And you get Jared Goff. Goff does have his detractors. He does have some people love him. Brad Holmes said he actually, in the interview yesterday during his end of the season presser, said he thinks Goff is still getting better and better and better. Understands that Goff did not have a great 2-game stretch to end the season. He says he's not worried about it. He thinks Goff is going to improve from there. But when you go through all of Brad Holmes' moves, can he really find anything glaringly that's like, man, this was just a bad move? Maybe you can find one. Maybe you can find 2. I know some people are going to point out Broderick Martin not having done much in 2 seasons. The only thing I could say to those people is, hey, look at Iffy. I think most of us want Iffy to return if he can stay healthy and it's a team-friendly deal. But also do point out that Iffy didn't do anything year 1 or 2. It was year 3 when he got his opportunity. He was actually healthy, and he did a whole lot on the field. And now we all think of him as a pretty dang good defender for the Lions. Yes, you can go through other players too. I point out a lot of time Derek Barnes, Kobe Scoresdale could be the next one to fit that. He just completed year 2. Does he make a jump this year? I guess we'll find out in year 3 for Scoresdale. There are probably other ones I'm not readily thinking of, but I think we can all agree with this. Brad Holmes, whether it's free agency, the draft, trades, he's hit on way more than he's ever lost on. And yeah, kudos to him for winning General Manager of the Year from the Associated Press. All right, you guys get a bonus one here of as far as the 5 headlines. Report: Lions have hired new defensive line coach Casey Rogers. Story by Christian Boer of MSN. And yes, I thought about doing a video on it yesterday, but by the time I got home from practice, the news had already hit and been out a few hours. I want to say about 475,000 different people on YouTube had the video. I didn't really want to bore you guys with it. I was like, man, you've already seen it probably 10 other times. Why hit you guys with another one? Let's just break down the hire. I think it's a home run. I think it's a dang good hire. We talked last year when Terrell Williams was brought in to be the defensive line coach for the Lions that I thought, man, it was a good move for the Lions. That proved out, I think, for the most part to be true. I think most fans would say he did a great job, and now he's being rewarded by becoming a defensive coordinator. How long will you keep Rodgers? I guess that comes down to how well the team does next year. Way too early prediction. I've already given it to you guys earlier this week. I think the Lions are going to win roughly 11 or 12 games next year. I look at that schedule in the upcoming season. I see a lot of wins. I know everybody's like, man, this is the toughest schedule ever. But looking at how some of the teams are going to change this offseason, in my anticipation, I think the Lions, nothing's easy in the NFL. We all get that. I'm not saying, hey, they're going to steamroll somebody 65-2 or something like that. But I do see the Lions getting 11 or 12 wins, probably winning the North or being in the conversation. I'm going to say we're going to win it the 3rd straight year. But I think Casey's set up to where he's going to have a pretty good showing this year. Can he keep him beyond next year? We'll have to wait and see. But I really do like the hire. I like his background. I like what he's done there. I like when you go and break down film, what the defensive line in other places have. I think he's affected in the past. I think you're going to see a real good result there. Plus, he seems like a Detroit Lions type mentality through and through. So great hire there, in my opinion. All right, I think we got some things for us to analyze in the main topic of the day, so let's go ahead and get over to it. There will be no Kurt Steele today. He apparently is not feeling good. Apparently he didn't take his daily Mountain Dew, and he's under the weather a little bit. So hopefully he is healing up and resting well. Who knows? Maybe he's on another exotic cruise somewhere, or maybe he's responding to a crime. Maybe Kurt Steele is Batman. That's always a possibility. All right, let's go ahead and get over to the main topic of the day. All right, Duke Crew, real question for you. Over under, is Kurt Steele just skipping today because he's got something better to do, or is he legitimately sick? Let me know in the comments section. And Kurt Steele, if you're watching, listen, I'm just messing with you, man. All right, main topic of the day. I think we all get this is probably considered a big offseason for the Lions. And when you watch, or especially when you go back and replay yesterday's press conference with Brad Holmes, I think he kind of gives some shocking reveals that he is not going to do his normal stuff in the offseason. I actually think he's closer to going, quote-unquote, Rams, skip the picks, in it to win it, and I think he makes some kind of references to it. In the past, when asked about, hey, are you going to trade for this guy? Are you going to try to acquire that guy? He usually shoots that stuff down, lickety-split. And we're not going to really comment on that, or we're not going to go there or whatever. That's not really our plan. He's pretty, vanilla when it comes to giving out information. But yesterday, not so much. I think Brad Holmes is legitimately considering going Rams mover. Remember, he played or worked for the Rams when they started the, skip the picks, we're in it to win it now type mentality. And I think that's where the Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes might be right about now. Let me ask you guys, Duke Crew, if you had to take the number 1, 2, 3, 49th pick or whatever for us in this year's draft, and you could say, hey, we can take a rookie right here and now and have that guy step in and help push us to the Super Bowl, would you do it? Or would you say, I want somebody who's 25 to 27 years old, high impact player, one of the best in the league at this position, that position, and I want to go for it? Let me know. Just say yes or no. Why for yes and for no, whether or not you'd make that trade, or no, I guess if you're saying no, you're just saying, hey, we're going with the draft. I understand, hey, you want to go with the draft. You want to get a player that's going to be here on a rookie contract, especially in the first round, 5 years. But the other part is, if you look at the Lions, their construction right now, we do have some pretty good youth. On offense, I know we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Do you really think we need anything? Maybe some developmental players on the receiver, maybe offensive line, something like that. But tight end, I think we're pretty dang set. Receiver overall, I mean, your top, 3 guys, whatever, probably set, especially if you bring back Tim Patrick. And I get Patrick's going to be 30. Quarterback, you're set. Running backs, you're set. It just doesn't seem like there's anything there other than, can I get a couple players on defense? Now, let's Scooby-Doo this another layer here. You look at the secondary. Terrion Arnold, Rakestraw, okay, they're rookies. We'll find out what we have with Rakestraw in the future. Terrion Arnold, I think we'd all agree, he's probably going to be like a top 20, 15, maybe top 10 corner next year, somewhere in that scope. Robertson, if he were, the elbow heals up and everything, you got one more year with him, you're probably set there. Brian Branch, one of the best in the league, all pro. Same with Kirby Joseph. So what do you do for defense to really help out? I'm going to guess most of us are going to say it's got to be defensive end, linebacker, maybe another cornerback. I really think there's some evidence to be had there that Brad Holmes kind of, even when Dave Burkett specifically asks him, are you guys thinking about trading for this guy or that guy? He doesn't pull his normal. Brad Holmes does not shoot it down. He just says, if the value's there, we're going to go for it. And I'm not going to say it's, somebody from the Raiders or somebody from Cleveland or whatever, but I think Brad Holmes, when he looks and assesses this team, when he overlooks this team, it's 100% like the Rams were when Goff was there, and Goff was in whatever it was, year 3, when they made it to the Super Bowl and lost. Think about at that point, the Rams knew just how close they were, and they started trading to get Von Miller. Oh, gosh, I can't even remember the cornerback's name who's down in Miami, but they said, hey, we're going to get a couple superstar players to put on this defense because the offense is already there. We just need this defense to be able to get after the quarterback, put some pressure on people, and really impose its will. That's why I think when you look at this thing, when you look at the Detroit Lions, you look at what Brad Holmes was a part of with the Rams, I think that moment is here. I think that moment is here where we need just 2 really specific players. Probably a linebacker, probably a defensive lineman, a defensive end, and you think of all 3 layers of the defense. If you got Aiden Hutchinson, you got a Lee McNeil, let's just assume you keep DJ Reader, because I really don't think he's going anywhere, and now you put somebody else on that line, Do you have to blitz a ton to get after the quarterback or shut down the run? I don't think so. Linebacker, we talked about it earlier during the 5 headlines now. I think Alex Anzalone, we all get it. He's great at coverage. He's, sideline guy, etc. He can do a lot of stuff. Jack Campbell clearly improved in year 2 from year 1. So now if you can add one more really athletic sideline to sideline guy in that second layer, the linebackers, I'm assuming we would all agree, are pretty dang set. And then when it comes to the cornerback position, the safety position, we all get it. As far as Branch and Kirby Joseph, you're probably not finding a better tandem in the NFL right now. Terry and Arnold, hey, you're good there. Meek Robinson, you're good there. But if you can add one more guy there who is, let's just not say he's, an elite level guy, but somewhere right around that level, how difficult is that defense looking on paper? You're going to play a bunch of games at Ford Field. I get it. You're playing indoors. You know what? I'm not a big fan of saying that an indoor team like the Lions can't play outdoors. Lions practice all the dang time outdoors. You can play indoors or outdoors if you're the Lions. But just where do you think this team is at that point? I think this team is 1 or 2 players away from being and is staying healthy throughout the season. But I think there's no doubt situation that we'd be in the Super Bowl next year and probably winning it. And that's where I think Brad Holmes, for the first time ever yesterday in that presser, reveals that, hey, he's considering saying skip the picks. We're going for it. Whether or not that holds water, we'll wait and see. Duke Crew, let me ask you. Just put, I don't know. How am I going to word this? S for skip the picks. Nope for hold on to the picks and draft players. I guess let me know in the comment section or however you want to phrase it in the comment section. But right now I'm going to say this. Based on where we are, based on the youth, based on the cap space we have this year, next year, based on the current situation, and if you really believe in your scouting department, again, use the Rams as an example. They trade away all those picks. You know what? Everybody said they're going to be terrible for 5 years, 10 years. They were bad for 1 year. Why? Because they had faith in their scouting department to acquire assets other people missed and build around that. The Lions are pretty dang young. I mean, they'll be a little bit older, obviously, next year. But I think if you want to make that move for a 25, 26, 27-year-old player or a couple players that you really feel like are going to push this team over the top, I'm all for it at this point. I'd say, hey, we got a 2-year window with those picks. If we trade them to go ahead and get those guys, let's do it now. And let's say, hey, 2025, 2026, we're winning the damn Super Bowl back-to-back, baby. And you know what? At that point, I'm going to guess most Lions fans aren't going to care if we traded those picks. You're just going to care that the scouting department is going to be put on the spot and say, hey, when some of these guys age out, price out, or contracts expire, you guys are going to have to find us some diamonds in the rough in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round picks, etc. All right, Duke Crew, you've heard me ramble on this topic way too much. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I the village idiot, or am I on to something? I personally, like I've said, I think Brad Holmes is in it to skip the picks at this point, and doesn't mean he's going to skip all of them. I've said it before on the show as a GM. When I was a GM, if I trade the 1st or 2nd round pick or something for somebody, I'm going to say, all right, we're going to give you that pick, but you're going to give us, in the NFL scenario, you're going to give us your 6th and 7th. That way I still have the same amount of picks, but they're just different levels. All right. I see there's a few comments here, so give me a second. I'm going to scroll up to the top of the screen. Again, no Kurt Steele. Hopefully he's recovering. And I'm going to the top. I'm racing to the end zone, the end line, whatever you want to say. All right, Michael, greetings, salutations, coach, and Duke Crew, exclamation points. One pride, back at you, my friend. JDC, morning all, same to you. Shamir, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew family, and good to see you as always, my friend. Big Eddie, greetings, salutations all. Really wish we were playing this weekend. Me too. One step closer to the new season. Yes, we are. Jessica, good morning, Duke Crew. So what is your number one area that needs improvement? I think defensive end. Me too. I'm going to guess maybe not everybody's going to say that, but I think a lot of that is going to be true. If you can get home with your front four, man, you open up a lot of coverage opportunities for that back end. JDC Magic 8 Ball says defense wins the big one. I concur. Trey, what's going on? Oh, question mark. The draft is in a few months. I wonder just how much we are going to do with them picks, or if we are going to trade more this year. I think, as I just alluded to, we're going to trade more. I do see that as an opportunity for us. Darcy, in your opinion, Holmes will try to acquire 1 or 2 veteran defenders for the team. Not a Crosby or Garrett, but a level below those 2. I can see that. Yeah, 100%. Is there anybody that specifically comes to mind, Darcy? Let me know in the comments. Detroit D, greetings and salutations to the greatest group of Detroit Lions fans and the host with the most, Coach Dan. Exclamation points. And thank you for that. Thank you for that, for Detroit D. Hopefully you're having a great start to your day. France, good morning all. Coach, what are your thoughts on Rodgers coming to Detroit? I like the hire. Me too, man. I think he's got nothing but upside. Been proven wrong before, but I think the fact that the Lions were so proactive on getting him tells you exactly what Dan Campbell thought of him. He thought, man, you got him on an interview. We're not letting him leave. We need to sign him now. Southwest Line, good morning, all. Like the new hire by the Lions for defensive line coach? Me too. And now, who's your OC? Who's your DC? We'll find out. Man Bear, good morning, Dan D. Lion and Scooby-Doo crew. Exclamation point. Let's Scooby-Doo this and have a fantastic day. Oh, yeah. And thank you for that, Man Bear, as always. Phil, good morning. Good morning, Phil. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Sounds like we are starting to get the new coaching staff put together. Larry Foote as the defensive coordinator? Question mark. Thoughts? Boy, we'll have to see on Foote. I like his trajectory, how he's developed from going from being a player to a coach. He's put in some time. He's been a coach now in the NFL, I want to say around 10 years or so. So a decade. He's seen some different things. I like his pedigree and background. We'll see if DC hires him. And Phil, good luck for tonight's game, Dan. Yeah, it will be a big one for sure. We're going to the land of hot now. But just so you guys know, in case you didn't know, while Sturgis, Michigan may be the only remaining hot now in the universe, apparently they're going to open up one in just outside of Wayland, Michigan. And, oh, boy, there's another one, Ancilla, Michigan. Alpena, Michigan. So apparently hot now is on the comeback. All right, Marcus, thank God it's Friday. Dan and Duke crew, exclamation point. The Casey Rodgers hires is huge. Tampa's D has always been a top 5 since 2019. Also, any thoughts on Larry Foote being interviewed for DC? I would say this, given that Larry Foote, the majority of his playing career was for the Steelers, I could see a lot of desire there if he's going to incorporate those type of mentalities for the Detroit Lions. I could see it being a good hire, but we'll have to see if that's where ultimately the team decides to go. Dave, I agree with you. Marcus, Rodgers is a very nice get for the team. Yeah, I think everybody's pretty happy with that hire. Robert, greetings, salutations, Duke crew. And Dan, does Dan O'Damas have any words of wisdom for us about the possible new coach hires? I guess we'll have to see if maybe he can hop on tomorrow's show and give you some thoughts. But I personally think the OC and DC are probably going to be in-house guys. I would rather have people hired in that have already done it for a while. But, of course, that's not up to me. Five Fingers Freddy. So who are we going to get for OC? Foote or sure thing for DC? I don't think he's a sure thing by any stretch of imagination, but I think he's an intriguing topic for sure. Marcus, Casey Rodgers and DeMarcus Lawrence, his rookie year, exclamation point. Yeah, he did coach him his rookie year. I believe he'll be the Lions' target this offseason. Might just be. Yeah, and I know you've mentioned that before. Well, let's say a couple other people have mentioned Lawrence as well. Quentin, greetings, salutations, coach of Duke Crew. So what's the shocking news? Holmes not going to sign injured players this year. We'll have to wait and see if Brad Holmes does go value bin shopping again. Robert Foote, what a career, college and pros. Steelers trained. I'm okay with this. Yeah, if that's the way it goes, then yes, I think most of us would probably be pretty happy with it. Marcus, with Saleh off the board and headed to San Francisco as their defensive coordinator, who do you think want the Lions' next DC? I want Dennis Allen. There are a lot of people, Marcus, that are mentioning Allen, and he is somebody with a lot of experience, so I can understand that for sure. Southwest Line, I think it's fine to talk to Larry Foote. I'd like to see them talk to other candidates outside the organization, though. What about Dennis Allen, Matt Eberflus? Both of them, I think, are probably in play. The only thing I would say with Eberflus is he does typically, but not solely, he does typically tend towards zone. Not a ton of 10 there. I want to say like 65 to 35, if I remember the notes off the top of my head, where MCDC has come out and said he wants to play mostly man-to-man coverage. So it wasn't just Aaron Glenn that wanted the man coverage. Voltron Force, I preferred Allen over Eberflus just because they both have been DCs prior. Saleh is out of the Jags running. Can we get him? Yeah, unfortunately, no. He's gone to the 49ers. I don't know about Foote. He just hasn't been a DC. Yeah, I get that'll be some of the trepidation about hiring leisure suit Larry Foote because he hasn't done the position before. Rob, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. The Lions are the grooviest, Adio. Yes, they are. And good morning, my friend. Marcus, who has had a worse week in regards to losing coaches, Tampa or us? I'm going to go with Tampa so far. But, hey, you're splitting hairs there. Jess, greetings, salutations, y'all. I told y'all, don't worry. Holmes and Campbell will bring in some good, strong options to replace AG and Ben Johnson. Yes, you have been all over that. And yes, I think they will. Robert, Holmes and Campbell, they will set us up for success. At this point, you got to believe the trend is your friend. And you know what? They've done nothing but good things for us. Southwest line, I would prefer somebody like Allen or Eberflus, but not totally opposed to a first-timer. Whoever they choose as defense coordinator, I hope it's somebody who is innovative. I'll go with that. Marcus Sala went to the 49ers as their defensive coordinator and is now the highest-paid defense coordinator. Correct. Sorry to clear my throat. Pat, I say Tampa, Marcus, only because I believe DC had been gearing up and ready for this moment the last few seasons. Yeah, I think the organization for the Lions, they understood that both these guys were going to leave. I think there were some expectations last year. So the fact that they were able to put it off another year hopefully groomed some people, got them better prepared for things. Marcus, interesting fact, Green Bay wanted Casey Rogers as their defensive coordinator bad, but lost him to us. How about that, man? And we got him. Yeah, that's a heck of a find for us. Frank Tank, good morning. Duke Crew, East Side. Woo! Go Lions. Back at you, my friend. Robert, Benedict Johnson, we will see if he is a leader of men, our new number one enemy, as it should be. 100%. He's got some crosshairs on him. David, good morning. All go get Crosby or Garrett. We'll see if that's where they go. Southwest, I'm over being upset about Ben Johnson going to the Bears. Most NFL coaches want to become head coaches, and Johnson decided that the Bears were the best place to be because of Caleb. Yeah, and now he's got to deal with us twice a year at least. So small. Sal out of the mix. Too bad. I liked him, guy, as an option. Yeah, I think a lot of people would have preferred him as a defensive coordinator, but hey, I understand he wanted to go back to San Fran. Frank Tank, y'all can walk, but we need to lay off the big names. This team was stacked and already and ready. Go Lions. I'm down with that. Rob, be groovy and smash that button for Coach Dan the Man. Yeah, if you guys can hit the subscribe, hit the like buttons, I'd be thankful. Frank Tank, we did not lose because we didn't have the players. We lost because of the turnovers and injuries. This team is ready to go, bro. I'll guarantee that. Go Lions, 100%. We're ready to get into the end zone and into the Super Bowl next year. Marcus, I agree with you, Pat. As Tampa's OC left them out to dry and took the Jags head coaching job, I heard he didn't return Tampa's calls after they initially were signed with him as their OC. That was cold. It was, man. But, hey, I guess if he's going from Jacksonville to Tampa, maybe he doesn't even have to sell his house or move his family. Southwest line, I think Ben Johnson leaving is actually going to make a fire under Jared Goff. I'm sure he's getting tired of the chatter that his success was due to McVay Johnson. Yeah, probably a lot of truth to that. 100% Southwest. Hardy, Detroit isn't getting Garrett or Crosby and blow up the salary cap. They still have to extend Jamal Hutchinson and Joseph, plus sign several other players. Look to the draft. It could be exactly where we go. 100% there, Hardy. Miles Mark, good greetings and salutations. Coach and crew, one pride. Back at you, Miles. Tears, no fears. Good morning, Duke Crew family. Rogers definitely has the experience needed to be for the job. Let's keep it up. Lightning and Thundercats. Ho! 100%, my friend. Good morning. Marcus, Crosby is too small for our D-line. No diddy? No doubt. There you go. Southwest, yeah, I'm not for pursuing Garrett or Crosby. We've got to take care of our own good players who are coming up for extensions. Correct. Yes, you got to get those guys paid. You got to keep the Lions way going. More. Good morning, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. What a day. What a podcast. Thank you for that. What a team. Let's go Lions. 100%, my friend. Getting in there. Let's see. 70. I want Garrett if we go after a Crosby or Miles type of trade. Okay, we'll see if we can go get him. Steve, good morning, Coach Dan and the Mountain Dew Crew. Exclamation point. The only free agent for a pass rush that I would be interested in is Garrett. As good a pass rusher as Crosby is, I don't think he sets the edge well. Fair enough. It could be. Myles Garrett would be a nice pickup. Friends, with Brad Holmes, make a trade for a big-name player, though. It's not his past. I mean, it's not typically in his past, we'll put it that way. But I thought he gave some signs that at least potentially this could be the year he changes tune. The non-laughers, greetings and salutations, Dan and Duke Crew. Back at you, my friend. Jennifer, new drinking G. Okay. Trump's, Gulf of America. All right. Stephanie, I think this could be the year he does. Yeah, I'll go with that. Christopher, Marcus Crosby, let's see, is the same size as Hutch. All right, I did not know that. Thank you for that, Christopher. Let's see, Frank Writing, let's see, Jeff Risden in 2024, Lions would be the worst over the next 4 years. Woo! All right, okay, I guess you're saying Jeff Risden is saying we're going to drop off this year? I guess we'll wait and see. Trina, good morning to everyone on this Friday from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Everyone has a safe and blessed day. Go Lions. Woo! And back at you. Hopefully it is a phenomenal day for you. Jennifer, New drink game. Every time Ben Johnson channels his Dan Campbell speech, drinks up. All right. Yeah. Can he do that? I don't really know if Ben Johnson is that kind of, motivational guy. I know Aaron Glenn's more of that, but we'll see. Maybe Ben Johnson will try. Rando, good morning, Duke Crew. Same to you. Southwest, you got to go with what brought the Lions to where they are. Trading multiple assets for one player is not what they have done. Correct. It is not what they have done. Mr. Nico, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew family. Dollar store Brad Holmes will dominate in the draft. MCDC will assemble his new Avengers, and Sheila will break out the checkbook. We're all in. This is our Super Bowl year. I like the way you're thinking. Marcus, Lions offseason checklist. Resign our key free agents, sign Hutch, Kirby, JMO to extensions, and draft depth pieces. DeMarcus Lawrence will be our only big free agent signing. We'll see if that's what they do. I'd be okay with that. Hookadoo, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. Southwest, this will be another test for Brad Holmes given the Lions draft position. Agreed. I wonder if they'll make any moves upwards, backwards, etc. Randall, this offseason may be the year we have to subtract to improve. Brad Holmes could move Monty, Raymond, Anzo to improve roster. Okay. Rob, shout out to the Red Wings for a convincing 4-2 win over the Les Habits last night. All right. Keith, good morning. Mr. Dan, exclamation point. Lions are still young and loaded with talent. Yes, they are. When healthy, we may be the best team in the NFL. With the MCDC and Brad Holmes leading the way, we are our way to 13-4 and the Super Bowl. Woo! I would go with that, man. If we get a 13-win season next year, I'd be right as rain happy. Southwest Line, Dan, I am really surprised that nobody has interviewed assistant general manager Ray Agnew for GM positions. Jacksonville Jets have not chosen a GM yet. Yeah, I am too. I just think, especially with Brad Holmes' success, why would you interview his right-hand man? I think his day is coming, though, unless he's turned him down or something. Hookadoo, good morning, Miles Bar. Words of wisdom are go Lions. I like it. Rob, Rob, the Red Wings needed that win badly. Yes, they did. Southwest, right. I don't get this chatter about moving from Reader. I think they should bring him back. I think he's got 1 year left on the contract he signed with Lions. I could be mistaken, but that sounds right to me. Dunbar, trade should go after Milton Williams, Philly defensive tackle, who will hit free agency. We'll see if they do. Nick, no moving on from Reader. I don't believe Levi will stay healthy yet. Sorry. Okay. Southwest, I knew we were getting some RS being so dang cheap. LF, never been a DC. Larry Foote had never been a DC, but was at Tampa, so I don't know. Why would we not keep Reader? He's playing more than all the other talking Hutch out of the list. Yeah, I think DJ Reader had a pretty good year, but I know there is some chatter about moving on from him. I just don't see it happening. Been wrong before, though. Rob Don Bird, yes, they did. JDC Puff, woo, Coffee and Lions Talk Live. I like it. Nick, I like Reader. He's the only one that stayed healthy. Laughing out loud. Yeah, remember all the people that had questions about him, and yet he's the one who did stay healthy. Levi has not proven he'd stay healthy yet. Sorry, I wouldn't replace Reader with Levi. I think they need to resign Davis. Okay, and maybe they do. Southwest, why would they let Iffy go to get older and pay more? Just because the injury history, that's the only thing I could think of, I guess. Let's see. Michael, what do you think about Lions signing a Casey Rogers or D-line coach? Question mark. He was at Tampa Bay. I like the hire. I think he's going to do some good stuff. I think he's being aggressive out there, too. Southwest Line, I'd like to get Carlton Davis back as well. Keith, Lions might even win 14 or more. Again, exclamation point. Gibbs will have 1,800 yards plus rushing if we let him. Not to mention 700 plus receiving. He was the best running back in the NFL. Super Bowl bound. Woo! Yeah, I think the more you saw him out there, especially when Dave Montgomery was out, unfortunately, because of injury, I think you could see the clear value and abilities of Gibbs. Lana, what do you got? Get rid of the strength and conditioning team first, please. See what we can do there. JK, Aiden Frankenstein with no help part. All right. Let's see. Ryan, there's a lot of good free agents out there. Yeah, there will be quite a few. Tuno, well, we don't get those picks until the following season. No, we do get one this year from what's his name? Aaron Glenn, and then you get one in 2026 too. So yeah, 2025 and 26, if I'm not mistaken. Nick, we get one this year and one next year. Tuna, correct. All right, we got it all covered. Christopher, Tuna, the third round pick this year, correct. Southwest, the Lions are going to into next season with lower expectations because of the loss of both coordinators, especially Ben Johnson. That's good. I think that will give them more fuel. Yeah, everybody feels like they got to step up a little bit. Tuna, so we think we spend the picks on the edge. I think just about all the draft picks and maybe some late round picks will go for offense, but I think all the higher round picks are going on the defensive side. I go half the problem is we really don't know how good the Lions team truly is with more than half the team on the injury list this season. You're not wrong. Keith, do everything to get Mad Max. Exclamation point. When healthy, we already have one of the best D-lines in the NFL, Super Bowl bound Lions. Woo! I'll go with that. Atlanta, we need a good strength and conditioning coach team this so the injuries can't occur. I concur. Trump's pass rush, number one need. I'll go with that. JK, SB Nation, okay. Tailor-Made Media, good to see you, my friend, as always. If you finish 15-2, not a whole lot of shaking and baking is required the following season. I'll go with that, man, especially with all the injuries we had. Rob, the 2024-25 season had the potential for all four Detroit teams to make the playoffs. That would be huge for the city and the state. Yeah, I agreed with that, man. The sports franchises here seem to be turning things around. Nick, 83, next year will be tough, though. I'm trying to be positive, but I see a 10-7 this season. Will tell you, I really think it depends on Brad if he actually moves from dollar store to Target. All right, moving on up. Keith, please, yes, please, someone help us, keep us healthy. I'm down with that. Eddie's Fish, team needs defensive end, defensive tackle, offensive line, cornerback, wide receiver. I think that we need to look at how to improve conditioning because we are the most injured-prone team in the league. Yes, we were last year. Year before, we weren't, but last year, obviously, we were. Nick, I seen a rumor of Crosby to the Bears. We'll see. Nick, Brad better not let that happen or the Packers. I've seen both. Okay, Eddie, I am a big Jared Goff fan. People need to leave him alone. I'm down with that. Gun guy, people who don't want Goff don't know ball. Fair enough. Nick, I like Goff, but honestly, I really want to see what Hooker can do just on the mobility aspect, moving in the pocket. Okay, understandable. Dona, I like Goff, but we can't have 4 to 5 turnovers a game anymore. No, you're not wrong there. Those wreck a team and a game real quick. Todd, they don't. They have done good from where we were. Stay the course. I'll go with that. Hookadoo. Goff is a huge part of the 15-2 season we had. One pride, 100% with that. Sometimes they think that gets lost in translation. Gun guy. Hook had zero experience and would set us back 2 years minimum. He's like 29 already traded him. Fair enough. There we go with that. Trumps, I was surprised to see the Lions put Teddy Bridgewater in instead of Hooker. The only thing I can think of with that, Trumps, is just because Hendon Hooker hasn't played an NFL game yet where Bridgewater has, so, kind of able to assume that he can handle the moment. Nick, that's just going to happen with Goff. He did it twice this year on a 15-2 team. He's going to have those games. Yeah, every quarterback has those games, right? Eddie, I think the Lions need to move more loyal to players and have been loyal to the team. And I think Sheila needs to open up her checkbook and keep this team together. Yeah, I think she's going to try. Good guy. Go back 5 years, and that's what Hooker would do. Okay. Nick, Teddy had a lot of experience, and I get why they did it, but that to me shows they didn't trust Hooker. Yeah, probably could be that. Frank, 1 defensive end, 2 cornerback, 3 receiver, 4 defensive tackle, 5 safety. Assuming Zettler is back, what would happen if Amon-Ra got hurt? Yeah, we need some help there for sure. JK Lions will lose out. Oh, all right, we'll go with that. Tuna, yeah, I don't get the feeling that Hooker wasn't what they thought he would be. Okay. Southwest, 10-7. This guy need to be drug tested. What idiot don't know our schedule was stuffed with the entire defense out and won 15 games. Okay. Gun guy, the fact Bridgewater was backup shows Hooker was not even close to ready. All right. Nick, that away schedule is tough at Philly, at Washington, at Bengals and Chiefs. Correct. Yeah, I think we're gonna pull some upsets. Exit 8, the Raiders want 2 firsts and a second for Crosby. He's not a free agent. Holmes is not a lollipop. Makes sense. A dumb, like Poles would mortgage the future for him. Yeah, let him go ahead and do that then. Tuna, for sure. Gun guy. Same old Lions fans want to see what Hooker can do. They like losing. All right. Hookadoo, 14-3 this upcoming year. Oh, yeah. I'll go with that. Marcus, get well. Kurt Steele, 100% there. Taylor made the Man of Steel, mailed it in. Yeah, he did, man. He did. Rob, get well, man. Southwest, the next season is perfect with all of our dogs back. We can put belt to butt. I love we playing all the playoff teams. I'm glad we got Washington. Let's see what the offense looks like when Hutch is going to be back. Yeah, Hutch and whoever else we got on the defensive line. Rob, get well, Man of Steel. Tuna, I'd do it if it was a defensive end. Gun guy, same old Lions fans been quiet about Hooker. Yeah, okay, I'm down with that. Salvos, Washington couldn't move the ball until Amik went down. That's maybe true. Hookadoo, the Man of Steel is down for the count. Ugh. Vet, yes, says Trumps. Gun guy, Goff made Ben Johnson. That could be true, and we might find out that to be very true come next year. Todd, I take Max Crosby, so yes, trade. Nick Vet, Rob, why for yes and for no? I'll go with all the above there. Tuna, Crosby is too expensive. Probably going to be true. Alan, Brad has a deal already done. We'll find out. Gun guy, Goff is a winner. Always has been. He has been. Justin, center in draft. That could be where they go. They're 100% there, Justin. Kim, depends on what's available in the draft. I like the way you're thinking. Justin, Frank is amazing, but Father Time is undefeated. You're not wrong there. Jerome, yes, someone proven in football. The time is now and maybe a little later, and that is not guaranteed. Correct. I mean, nothing is ever guaranteed. JMO, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Back at you. Nick, I want Timmy P. Pack. Yeah, I think we all do, man. Alan, yes, Brad does not need first-round picks to get a diamond. I'll go with that. And you're not wrong. Look at Mahogany. Look at so many of our players that we brought in this year. Tuna, agreed. Michael, 0-17 Bears incoming next season. Let's hope so. Trump's Miles and a 2-year deal. Let's go get him. Tuna, Tim Patrick come up big for us when we needed him. He did. He did indeed. JK, bye. Gun guy, Lions fans don't. Same old Lions fans don't know a good thing when they see it. That might be true. Brian, Bears win the division next season. Let's hope not. Southwest, get MG from Myles Garrett from the Browns. Skip Max Crosby. He picked Washington to beat us. Well, yeah, you can't take him now. Big D, we sweep the Care Bears next year? I think so. Jonathan, we need defensive tackle, cornerback, and edge. Michael, laughing out loud, the Bears aren't going anywhere next season? I think so. Yeah, I think it's going to be another tough season for them. Lansing, you know what helps with filling in this time? Supporting the Detroit Pistons and the Detroit Tigers. Also, MSU and U of M have good basketball teams this year. Men and women's teams, exclamation point, will be good. Will be okay. One pride. I like it. Mr. D, Mr. Full of Bull. All right. Tuna, I don't think we'll be in the Super Bowl next year with like 5 new coaches. We'll see, man. We'll see indeed. CD note, Lions can move back to Pontiac. They don't rep Detroit. This is a chip city. All teams except them. All right. All right. Atlanta sounds the best stripping coordinator coach. Every NFL team history. Pay him all the money. You can just keep us healthy. Yeah, get somebody out there who keeps us healthy. Southwest S. There we go. Non-Laughers S. Lions Talk Live fam. Defensive end or cornerback, Big D. They are the Care Bears, nothing more or a bunch less. There we go. Hookadoo. The only thing the Bears win next season is another year of hibernation. Oh, there we go, Hookadoo. Gary, load up front in draft, sign an impact defender. I like the way you're thinking. Kim, look for opportunities, and there will be opportunities. No decision right now. Okay. Atlanta, sign the best strength and conditioning coach you can find because we're going to need it. I like it. It's Lansing JP. You want the Lions to move back to Pontiac? John King S. Miles, hiya, Hookadoo, dang right, 15-2 next season with Goff. Okay. Pontiac is, I'll go with that. It's Atlanta FTP. Okay. Free Tim Patrick. Hookadoo. That's Truth Miles Martin. CD note. Pistons was welcomed back. Fords can take the team somewhere else. Okay. Trump's forget toilet paper. Lauren, Brad back. Brad kept saying Mac. He did. He did do that. Chad, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke crew. Woo! Back at you, Chad. Joe, good morning, Coach. Good morning. Back at you, Joe. Gary, they go after defensive end Kendrick from Cincinnati. Maybe they do. Maybe they will. Southwest Pontiac, it's never happening. Those days are over, probably for the foreseeable future. Lansing JP, I hear CD knocking. Don't know if I can let him in, but I hear you knocking at the door. 100%. Gun Lake says Lansing. Yes, yeah, Gun Lake, 100%. Is C note, don't have to let me in. I want to come in laughing out loud. All right. Lansing JP, well, the stop and rock and Lions staying in the city of Detroit. Yes, I believe they will. Southwest, if I'm holding off on, let's see, Larry Foote from Tampa Bay just to shop around a little more. Yeah, I think they might. They might. Keith, pay attention. Sheila has already been spending money on resigning our regular players. She is not a cheap owner. Excuse me. She will spend the money when needed. Super Bowl bound. Woo! I like it. I like it indeed. Rob, once you get your foot in the door in Alpena, you're on your way. Yes, you do. There you go. Michelle, what do you got? Casey Rogers, a defense coordinator, experience with Todd Bowles in the Jets. Correct. Frank, before trading for defensive end, you're trying to sign a free agent defensive end. Let's some healthy players available. The best availability. Yes, the best availability. Best ability is availability. Woo! See, no, make me knock it off typing stuff. There, it happens, man. I'm getting a little tongue-tied twisted myself here. All right, we got about 5 minutes to go, so let me go through the comment section looking for people who haven't been on as much. Joe, what do y'all think of Osei? Oh, boy, I'm going to kill the last name, so I'm going to move on. We'll find out what they say. Black J.R. Jones, I'm late, but here, go Lions, one pride. Good to see you as always, my friend. Trump's Rex Ryan or Rob. Yeah, Rob just went to the USC, by the way. Troll alert on here. Fair enough. Allen was hired by the Bears. I think he was, yes. Rex Ryan, great idea. C note, been watching the Lions lose for 50 years. Dang, right, I'm cranky. Hey, it happens, man. We all get there sometimes, man. Ryan, Tanner, extra for your new offensive coordinator. Could be. Eddie's Fish, I would like the Lions to hire a defense coordinator with at least 5 years of experience. I totally get that thought. William, honest question. With contracts coming up for our big name players, can we afford Miles or Max? I think it would be tough, but maybe if they rework their deals, maybe if they really just want to be here, then maybe something can be had. JDC, Detroit Lions rebuilding since 1957. Stay tuned to Coach Dan, Lions Talk Live for more updates. Go Lions. Thank you for that, JDC. Ben, Cuckoo Casio for doing it now. Waited too long to close. Let's go Lions back to back. Cuckoo, I'll go with that, my friend. 100%. Henry Moore, I trust Sheila and Holmes and Campbell. Let's go. Woo! I like it. Paul, Jeff is a clown. Lions won't fall off. I'll go with that. Paperbags fan, greetings, salutations, crew. Have a great Friday. Go Lions, 100%. Shaft, anyone talking negative? Yes, I'll go with that. Yeah, I'm a positive Pete, or whatever you want to say. Damien, I would gladly not win the division, have the worst record, and be healthy for the playoffs and make it to the Super Bowl. Go Lions, 100%. You know what? There's been more talk about that maybe you just try to get into the playoffs and from there, see what happens. Side service, we aren't going to go hog wild. Brad will stick with his formula built to the draft. I'll go with that. Brian, I don't think we should say Super Bowl or bust until we make it to the dang Super Bowl. Let's talk about one game at a time. Saying Super Bowl and not making it is a bad dream. All right, okay. Dole, what DC or defensive coordinator do you want since Salah out, Larry Foote or Dennis Allen? Boy, out of those guys, and Eberflus, I mean, there's some other good options out there. My personal thing is I want somebody with some experience, but that's me. Maybe they feel like, hey, somebody in-house like Kelvin Shepard is a better fit. We'll find out. Sign service, Brad, pretty much that offensive line will always be a priority. Yeah, I think offensive line and defensive line will always be. Joe, how will a strength and conditioning coach help prevent the broken bones and the torn ACL, MCL injuries? We'll find out. Let's see, a couple more here that haven't been on here. Shaft, people talking trash about losing the OC and DC don't know football. Oh, William, can't blame Goff only for the turnovers. Look at what caused the turnovers, what led up to them. I'll go with that. Yeah, calling the empty backfield a pass play, and I get Amon-Ra St. Brown falls down. Otherwise, it's probably complete to pass, but I probably would have run in that situation. Hardy, Lions trade for Jordan Mellon or for Broderick Martin and a 7th round pick. Okay. Moonscar, I'm on board with that. Alta, Jason Berry, Levi Stadium or bust. Now I'll go with that. JDC, Tree of Destiny. Woo! Dolo Dynamite, Ragnow 28. What the heck? Yeah, he's still got some years, I think, left in him. He's got to heal up, though. Let's see. The non-laughers maybe resign Glasgow for a backup or center. Yeah, could be they do that. Southwest, get Garrett. I would not be crying if that happened. Rob, the Bears relegated to the CFL. We'll find out next week. Paul, Miles going to be a Lion. Forget Crosby. Okay. JDC, Motor City Duke Crew, back at you. Brian, We need to get pressure on the quarterbacks. I don't care how we do it this year. Get it done. Draft for free agency. Trumps, maybe we can resign James Houston from the Browns. Maybe indeed. I wouldn't be sad. Rob, the Bears spend too much time stealing picnic baskets. Yes, they do. Jet, I played high school football with Larry Foote, so of course I think he's a great pick. I'll go with that, and congrats on that. JC, oh boy, here we go. Yes, indeed. Courtney, believe in work and more grit. I'll always take some more grit. See, respect Coach Dan. I'm just venting before work. No worries, man. Go for it, man. That's part of why we're here, right? Hookadoo. Old man, you're a joke. See, no, okay. JDC, happy trails, go Lions victory. Hookadoo. Okay, truce, then CD, no. The truce is out there. Hookadoo, I'm on the west side. How about you? I'll pull up, all right? Let's go. Simmer down. Yes, indeed. Jim, many of our injuries were self-inflicted. You're not wrong. Yeah, friendly fire got us a lot. Please like it, share, and subscribe. Thank you for that, Miles Marger. Let's see. Rex does love Lions. Yeah, and his son coaches here. Although, I don't know if his son's re-signing this year. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Hookadoo. I've called for a truce. Hey, the truce is noted. Mike K., welcome to your nightmare. Yes, indeed. Playing the Detroit Lions, 100%. Trumps, do they keep a stat on which team causes the most injuries to the opponents? That I don't know. Somebody probably does, though. Super Bowl not making it a bad dream. Okay. Dynamite, Dennis Allen is experienced. He is experienced. 100% there. He's been around. Rob, Alice is in AZ now. Okay. Rex Ryan has a lot of experience. He does indeed. Miles Marker, one pride. Brent, happy trails, one pride. Hey, we made it to the comment section for the most part. All right, guys, I'm going to go and get out of here, get ready for work, all that stuff in the gym. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that march for 13,000. I want to say we are now, 58 subs away. So if you can help out with that, that would be phenomenal. Also, as you're checking out, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You guys all know it helps everybody out a ton on YouTube. All right, I'll get out of here. Be kind to others. Do something nice for somebody you don't know. See you all in the next Lions Talk Live.
Excuse me, sir, would you... Donations to the Reverend Moon? Juice for Jesus?
Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism?
Help Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology?
Or nuclear power?